All right, so this is where we're going to start from. These are all the things that we're going to be covering today. I've got a generic practice file that we can all be working on at the same time if you want. So as I go through these, it just might be easier for you to recreate what it is that I'm talking about. So over on the right-hand side, you see where it says practice files. Let me unfreeze my computer here. Make it a little... Oh, remote. There we go. Okay, you see on the right, generic practice file. Go ahead and click on that, and then you'll see the direct link. That'll pull up Google Drawings. It'll ask you to make a copy. And there we go. All right, so that's lots of little things that I've already added to it that we can... These sort of serve as little examples of things that you can create on the fly that you can drop in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing you want to get started with is your page setup. All right, so what you're looking at basically is a blank canvas. All right, the checkerboard pattern, anybody want to know or want to guess what that represents? Well, you're on the right path. It is, PNG is related to it. Okay, that's your transparency. That's right. So everything that is on this canvas will be part of the image that you save. The checkerboard pattern, that is the part you're able to see through. Okay, so if we put a little shape right here and we save this out, it wouldn't just save this shape, it would save the whole image. We'd have a little image and then a lot of empty space around it. Okay, so you can actually resize your canvas a couple different ways. One way is to do it manually, and if you click on the canvas, you'll see there's a little handle in the lower right-hand corner. Do you see that? And if you click and drag, you can actually resize it. Now, it looks like it made it bigger, but it's just, it's the dimension that you drew. It's just filling it to the size of your screen, so it's easier to work with things. Okay? I'm going to quickly undo that. Now, if you need a specific dimension for a graphic, let's say, for example, you're working on your web page. I do the school website, so whenever we put out a news item, I fix a graphic to the story as well. And those graphics are always 250 by 250. So what we do is we click on File, and we can all do this together. Click on File, and then choose Page Setup. All right, so we're just changing the size of our canvas here. All right, it's already set to 4 by 3, but if we choose custom, you can see we can make it whatever size we want. Okay, and they are measured by inches, centimeters, points, or pixels. I prefer pixels. That's for me. So if I wanted it to be 250 by 250, I would choose pixels, and then I would type in that value, or those values rather, 250 by 250. That would result in a canvas that is completely squared. And because I do that for each time I upload a graphic, it's going to give me a consistent look on my web page. Every graphic looks the same. It looks right. Looks better, in my opinion. Anyway. Okay. Your tools up here at the top are going to change based on what you have selected. So with nothing selected in Google Drawings, you'll notice that we have undo, print, zoom in, there's some other things there. But if we click on one of these objects, watch what changes about our toolbar. If we choose it, look, we get a whole new set of options up here. Okay? If we click off of it, those controls go away. So in other words, those specific controls only become visible when you can use them. Okay? So this shape here, yeah, I actually can put text in there, which is why these controls are available. If I click off of it, those controls go away. Does that make sense? Okay. Your guides, those are handy. That will help you line things up. And what you can do is click on View, and underneath Guides, you can choose to show the guides. And what that will do is it'll put two lines on there, one vertical and one horizontal. And so if you're wanting to put something squarely in the middle, there, let me say this shape, and drag that over. Notice what will happen when I get right in the middle. See how the guides light up red? That means I've got it right spot on in the middle. And that's helpful when it comes to lining things up. You can move your guides as well. You can even create new guides if you want. Go to View, Guides, choose Edit Guides, and here you could add as many guides as you want to. All right. Again, guides are just there to help you line things up. That's all. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Add the guides? Okay, good.
Actually works in like Google Slides too.
It's the same control.
I had a student do it today accidentally.
Oh, okay. Cool. This over here is very useful, the zoom tool. If we click on that, notice it's going to automatically want to fit everything to the optimal size for viewing. But you can change it to some set levels here. This is set to 50%. We can also zoom in if we want to. So if you're working with a lot of small objects, this allows you to get really, really close and more precise with your movements. Then you can snap it right back to where it was. Zoom controls. So all these extra things I added on the side here, you could actually have a lot more than these, but you couldn't see them all. So in order to see them, you'd want to probably zoom out even more. You see that? I've been to workshops where I've seen teachers use Google Drawings to teach children how to group objects together, and basically they'll have the puzzle pieces all over here, and then they'll have to drop them in. You, Leanne, if you work with formulas or things like that, you could actually have those arranged on your sides and then have them drop them in sequential order, you know, as a way of determining whether or not the formula is correct. So there's a lot of ways, things that you can actually do with this. All right, next let's talk about adding images. Super easy to add images in Google Drawings. You just click on your Insert menu and there's Image. All right, you can upload it directly from the computer. You can search the web. That's how I got that little stormtrooper down there. Pull anything from your drive, from your photo library, if you have the address of an image, or you can use your camera. All right, if you want to see how that works, you can. If you choose camera, you'll have to first allow your camera to use your computer. Choose allow, and there it is. Okay, I'm going to hold up my finger. I'm going to say I'm number 1. Okay, so there it is, and then I can insert it. Now once we get it in here, we can do a lot of things with it. Let me quickly delete that so it doesn't scare anyone. All right, insert image, and there's your options. Okay, I've already got a text box over here. You see that? The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. All right, you can insert a text box by clicking Insert, Text Box, right there, and then you just draw your text box. Okay? All kinds of different fonts you can choose from. You can do different things with your text box. You can put a line around it. You can fill it with a certain color if you want to. All right, that's good for labeling things. You can even rotate your text box. I think if we go to more tools here, format options, I think we can also do a reflection. Do a shadow underneath it. Anytime you see an arrow under format options, that means you can further customize it. See how I'm adjusting that shadow behind it? I mean, you could just play with these all day. There we go. All right, and that's a text box. And the other shapes that you draw, those can also serve as text boxes. So this little, I'm not sure how many points I've got on this, but any shape that you draw, if you choose it and just start typing on it, it becomes a text box. Okay? All right. Word art is a little bit different than regular text in that you can change the fill color, and you'll find that right here. And some of this stuff is review because these controls and these features are also found in other G Suite apps. So there's word art. Here's a tip. Hold down the Shift key when you click on a corner and you resize it. That way it won't lose the proper aspect ratio. And again, you can do things with the line color going around it, the fill color. You can even do gradients there if you wanted. This right here is an example of word art that I did. Like, how did we do that? Lots of different colors in there. I'm glad you asked. Okay, we're going to first choose it. First off, I changed the font style to Suez 1. Then I went to my fill bucket here, and I chose custom. Look at this. See, you can add different stops, gradient stops to it. So I just went with a spectrum of colors here, just added different stops here, and I applied that. Okay. Then once I got that the way I wanted, I clicked OK, and then I added a little dot around it. See right here? Here's my dot style, and I set the dot style to yellow. And that's how I ended up doing that shape, that word art. Oh, and I also did a shadow to it as well. See? Drop shadow. Okay. All right. Let's try to move a little quicker here now. Let me get rid of this. Any questions about any of this? It's really not that complicated, folks. Lines and shapes, you'll find all those here. Also underneath insert, there's all of your lines. You can do your scribbling, you can join things together. Just connect them.
Geometry.
Oh yeah, for sure. There we go. You can change the color. Leave that at black. See? Oh, yeah, it'd be great with geometry. Yeah. Create little puzzle pieces and have them try to fit things together. Elementary grades, I think, teachers could really use this feature. Lines, diagrams, those are all found here. These are examples of diagrams that we brought in here. Insert, diagram. Look at all the different types of diagrams we have. There are timelines, processes, cycles. Look at how nice these are. And you just bring them in. And once they're in there, you can resize them all. Hold down the Shift key. Then you can come in and change the colors if you want to by just selecting an individual element. See, you can make that any color you want to. See? But by using the diagrams, you don't have to draw things manually. All right? This is a great way of displaying data when you use these options over here. Okay? Let me get rid of that. All right. Now, probably the most important thing to understand with Google Drawings is object ordering. That is, bringing things to the front and sending them to the back. So if we bring over a couple elements here, this one right here that was on the left, this is a textured background. Okay, I'm going to resize this, and you can try this as well. Resize it so it fits your whole canvas. All right. Then I'm going to take my Stormtrooper, and I'm going to bring him up here. Oh, but look at what happened. I brought them up here, but now I don't see it. That's a problem. And the reason is this stormtrooper is actually behind my background, so I need to fix that. So one thing I can do is if I click on my texture, I can right-click and then choose Order, Send to the Back. And see what it'll do? It'll put that behind everything. Okay? And once I get my picture lined up, let me resize it just a little bit now. Okay. I can group everything together by selecting everything first. Oop, I didn't want to do actually everything. I forgot about my other elements I have here. Hold on. Click on one, hold down Shift. Now I've got them both selected. Now that they're both selected, you can choose Group. Now I can move things around. See, they're both together. And then if you want to ungroup them, just right-click and then choose Ungroup. Now you can come in and move the objects off one another. All right. You can do a lot of things with pictures besides simply resizing them. When you select them, you'll see over here under Format Options, you can do some recoloring over here. See that? Some other things, transparency. See, that's pretty cool. You've used that quite a bit. Brightness, contrast. And then if you need to reset it, just click the Reset button. Okay. All right. There's a neat feature here. It's called the Mask tool. And so what that'll allow you to do is to basically crop the image with a shape. So if I have this picture selected, and if I click on right up beside Crop Image, there's a little drop-down arrow there. Look at what I've got. All these shapes that I can use as a mask. So let me say this explosion shape here. I can choose that. Then maybe I want to move that picture a little bit. Whoops, hold on. There we go. Okay. I'll put a border around that. See that? You don't like it? Fine. We'll go ahead and get rid of it. It's gone. Okay. Now we're back. Okay. Let me get something else in here, and then we'll talk real quick about some extensions that are very useful and handy. Then I'm going to give you a chance to play. Print settings and preview. To get there, just click on File, and then you'll see Print Settings and Preview. That's going to show you exactly what your image will look like when it's printed. Okay? And what will be printed will be anything that is on the canvas. That will be included as part of your picture. Okay? You have the option to download several different ways. There's a PDF, JPEG, or PNG. Now, if you want to preserve the transparency, you must download it as a PNG. JPEG doesn't support transparency. So if I downloaded this right here as a JPEG, this would be white, a white background. So if I tried to put that on, say, a black slide, I'd see it wouldn't look good. If it was a PNG, though, we could see through the transparent regions. Okay? Adding collaborators in Google Drawings is just like any other G Suite application. You simply click Share, and then you add the names of the people you wish to share with. Okay? You can also publish these to the web. File. And I should see down here, Publish to the web. Where is it? Here it is, right there. Publish to the web. And so that will allow you to actually embed this into a web page or some other area. And what's nice about this option, if you're embedding using code or a link, and if you come back and you make a change to the graphic, it'll automatically be reflected on the web page. See, that's one of the benefits of publishing. Okay. All right, here's a few fun things that I've discovered along the way. If you'll scroll down to our main page here, ColorZilla, what that is that's this little color picker that I have, and it's an extension. And what that allows you to do is to take any color on your screen and match it and capture it. So that can come in handy if you're trying to, let's say I've got this word art here, and I want my background to be this specific shade of pink. All right? Well, that's going to be kind of hard for me to dial that in. I could go to my solid colors, and I'm not going to quite see. I could go to custom, and I could noodle around here, but it's not going to be perfect. All right, so if I wanted to get that specific color, I would use this little tool and watch how it works. I'll click on it, and then I'll say pick color from page. Didn't allow me to come down here.
Where did you click, Tom?
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's the extension, okay, ColorZilla. So I'll choose it and then pick the color from the page. And then I'll come down here and basically it'll preview the color that I'm on. So right there is what I want. I'll click. Got it. Color copied to the clipboard. You're like, okay, so how do I get it on my canvas? Easy. We'll go to our, I want to right click on my background, go to background, and if I choose custom, look here. You see that area? That's the hex value of all of that particular color. So I can paste that in. Now watch. Perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, Megan, but you get the idea. Okay? I've used that many, many times. Most times when I was doing graphics for the Jumbotron, I would have sponsors send in their images, and they wouldn't fill a 4:3 aspect ratio, so I would oftentimes have to fill in the background. So this little picker tool would allow me to do that. Okay, Fireshot is another useful extension. It allows you to take grabs from off a website. So let's say you were teaching students something and you wanted to demo something, or you wanted to draw attention to this menu up here, and you were making a tutorial. Well, with FireZilla, that's not it. Here it is, right here. Watch what we can do, or Fireshot rather. If I click it, I can choose to capture my entire page or a selection. So watch this. I'll choose capture a selection, and I'll just draw right here. Okay. All right, then I can right click on it and choose copy. I can come back here, right click once more and paste. And there it is. That would come in handy, Megan, for trainees, people you have coming in, you want to teach them how to get here or there. That would be useful there. All right? Bitmoji, I don't know if you all have that. You have to actually install it on your smartphone. We're not going to take the time to do that today. You install that on your phone, you create an account, and then you install this Chrome extension, and then once you get that, it's going to allow you to go ahead and add your little emoji character. And this is going to, okay, let me log in here. There I am. Okay, so now I'm logged in. Now I should be able to see all my Bitmojis that you can customize. Basically, Bitmoji lets you create a drawing of yourself, and then you can take these and you can just drop them in to your drawings and resize them. That's fun. And there are lots of versions of yourself here. So you can express nearly any type of mood or message. Bitmoji. And again, that's linked. You have to first create an account on your smartphone and then go ahead and install the Chrome extension in that order. Okay? Yeah, that's important. Okay? Here's another one that's fun. It's called Famous Fonts. So if we go back here and click on Famous Fonts, look at what we can do. Movie titles. All right, so basically, I'm just going to put this is what my family calls me, Tommy, but I don't like my name in regular fonts, so I'm going to choose something that's more exciting. Look at all these. You might be able to recognize some of them. Ooh, Jurassic Park. So you choose that, and then you can change the font size. I'll say 120. Okay. There are different effects here. Look at all these. All right, and so then I'll generate it. Look. And we can take that, copy it, and then bring it back in. There it is.
How did you get the famous fonts? Was that
It's a link. Everything is linked here, Patrick, from right here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep. Famous fonts. There's another one. That's okay. Flaming text. If you click on that. Oh, here we go. Okay, so maybe you like this style. You can click on that, and then it allows you to go in and edit it, make it say what you want. And then it's just a matter of copying it back to your drawings. All right, you can choose to have it be transparent as well. Okay, you get the idea. And then that last link down there, free stock textures, that's going to allow you to use different textures as your background. All right, look at all these. So maybe you like this one here. Again, just right-click, copy the image, come back to drawings, and then paste it in. And then you can say, all right, send this to the back. Order, send to back. See that? Now it's behind everything. I've really created a mess here on this drawing. But basically, the sky's the limit with some of these tools. If you're creative and you want to do something that you're going to print off, or you want to create some social media graphics or do things for your website, I mean, there's plenty. These are all free tools that will allow you to do it. Okay? All right, we've got roughly 10 minutes left, and I'd like us to try to brush up on our skills a little bit. Now, I've got, actually before we do that, I want you to see some of the things that you can create with drawings. These are some graphics I've created over the years, created with Google Drawings. If you click on that, this will show you some of the things that can easily be created and some of their uses. So this is an example of a image that was attached to an article on our school website. This little spaceship I actually did, I used that in a video game that I created. I generated this called Space Blastum, and these were the little sort of Space Invaders themed. This is a thumbnail image for a video I did on Google Docs, how to work with customized bullets. Basically, that was just a matter of finding graphics online and shapes, putting everything together. Okay? I mean, this was all done with Google Drawings. Different applications, though. You've seen the banners we have outside? Google Drawings. Okay? All right. So, back to our document. I'd like you all to spend a few minutes trying to recreate some of the things that we have here. We have 4 things you can try. we've got a Google Drawings icon, Google Classroom icon, Student of the Month, and then a header template. So if I go Student of the Month, and if you click that, all right, you'll want to make a copy. Watch what it'll do. All right. You don't want to create this. You want to use your webcam and do exactly the same thing. So you would start by getting rid of what you see there, and you've already got the dimension. This is going to be your inspiration right here. All right, this is what you want it to look like. Now, all of my elements that made this up are part of this object here. They're all grouped together. So if I chose ungroup, look, it's a picture. It's also that shape. It's also word art. And then something else here. I know it's kind of hard to see because this is white. So let me see if I can quickly change the color of those just so you can see. Oh, it won't let me do that. Hold on. There we go. Okay, you can see it a little bit better. So if you want to do that, use your webcam, take your picture, and how I got that contrast was by going to Format Options, and I adjusted the contrast there to make it look more Polaroid-ish. Okay, see what you can do. If you don't want to do that one, maybe you want to try to make the Google Classroom icon. Okay. This is just a matter of finding the shapes that are up here and drawing them. And you can ungroup this and see how I did it. But this is right now, this is just about practicing. And then we had another one. I think it's harder, the Google Drawings icon. That took me a little while to do. There it is. This is made up of, look at all the different elements that made this up. We're not going to have the time to actually create this from scratch, but if you do get good at working with shapes, you can create a lot of neat things. Just play. And if you don't want to do any of these that I've created for you, just play from scratch. All right. And I'll be walking around, and if you need any help, just ask.